In this problem, we're simulating a traffic light. In the next method, we're going to increment a counter. So we have the counter here, and so every time you call next, it's just going to increment the counter to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And what we want to achieve is when we ask it how many reds did we have, then the answers that we want to get is, because this traffic light starts out being red, then it gets to be yellow, but we've seen one red in its history. Then it's going to be green, and then red again. So here we want to have the value 1 for the reds. Here we want to have the value 2, and then 3, and so on. Notice that we never actually store the color anywhere, but we want to restore the number of color transitions from the numbers that we have on the left. So the hint was that to have a look at count over 3, that's 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and so on. And now if you compare count over 3 with the column over here, then you can see that we're just off by 1, so we need to add that value 1. And that's what you have here. Now the other thing, we want to show the position of the traffic light, although we're not yet prepared to show the color. That'll come later. So let's look at that. So the position starts out circle here, then it moves here, and then it moves here, and then of course afterwards we have to move back to the top. So my suggestion was that you have another instance variable that is that circle, and it starts out being at the top. So at construction time, the circle starts out at the top. And then my other suggestion was each time that one calls next, one simply moves the circle down by 50. So that means when one calls next for the first time, it'll be down. And when one calls it again, it'll be here. And after the third call, it'll be at the wrong spot. And so the trick is, how can we move it back to the top after the third call, even though we have no if instruction yet where we can say if it's too far down or if it's the third time or whatever. And so the trick to do that was to come up with a number that's either 0 or 150, or I should say minus 150, depending on whether we're in the correct spot or not. So we want to have a 0 or a minus 150. And the hint that I gave you is it's fairly easy to make it 0 or 1 depending on the position, because what you can do is you can look at the top, at the Y position, and divide by 150. So when we look at Y over 150, after having called next, so this one doesn't count. After we called next, we have a 1 here. Y over 150 is 0. Here it's 0. And here it's 1. And it's at this 1 where we want to move. By how much do we want to move? We want to move by minus 150. So let's have a look at minus 150 times Y over 150. And that'll work beautifully. That if Y is 50 or 100, then we're going to be moving by minus 150 times 0, so we're not going to be moving at all. And if y is 150, we're going to be moving by minus 150. That's the code that you see here. And that's the entire problem. So there really is nothing to it if you know how to do it, but it is tricky to get there.